Hello DIDC members, this is Kathy Vergara. I am the Instructional Officer for Multilingual. I am presenting our proposal on behalf of the EL Guiding Coalition, specifically Goal 3 that works with closing the achievement gap through professional learning. So of course everything that we do in our district is centered around our vision that every student enters with a promise and exits with a purpose, and we feel that through the proposal that we are giving you today, that we will hit all the components, but especially cultivating talent in order to provide equitable opportunities for our students. So last year, a huge celebration was that DIDC approved our proposal, which requested 6 exchange hours for all educators that needed exchange time in order that focused specifically on English learners and strategies. So here's a little bit of more information so you can see. Figure 1 talks about what levels and grade bands participated in our professional learning. Figure 2 talks about the different roles that participated in our professional learning. Furthermore, we have this slide that talks about the different sessions that we offered last summer in comparison to the year before. So as you can see, we offered almost twice as many sessions than have ever been offered in the past, including 16 online sessions, which is the most that any department offered during the summer, and they were very sought after sessions, as well as a mini conference in addition to our regular one-on-one sessions. Face-to-face sessions. And then this particular graph talks about the number of attendees. So as you can see, due to our proposal and initiative, we have more than twice as many attendees and that focus on professional development, that focused on the development of English language learners. So you may ask yourself, well, what did this do? How did people feel? So as you can see from this particular graph, and it's broken down by the different grade bands as well, but the majority of people felt that they can make significant or some adjustments to their instruction based on the professional learning that they received that focused on English learners. This is a big deal because this is adding that movement of making systemic change for our students. One of the things that we have seen as a coalition is that there is definitely a sense of awareness for our English learners and the instruction to meet their needs. So furthermore, I wanted to show you this video that was created with teachers from Ulrich and Metzler.
To the 7 steps for a language-rich interactive classroom, and this is my little book that I hold on to all the time.
Joanne Billingsley's Making Words Real. It was an amazing workshop. I actually left there with so many tools that I got to put in my toolbox.
So I always have them talk to their table first before anyone has to talk out loud. And we randomly choose who's going to talk out loud, and I always tell them, steal the best idea, and that's one of the things we talk about in here is like actually listen to what other people are saying so that if you don't like your answer, you can steal one of theirs. They're just happy they're not having to speak out in front of the class. And sometimes you'll hear them like parrot back what someone else has said, but they actually heard that, listened to it, knew that it was a great answer, and then were able to repeat it. And it kind of builds that community with their table that none of them are judgmental that like whatever they said to their table wasn't the one they liked.
One of the things that we do is I have kids make chants, raps, skits, poems. They get to interact with the word wall as well as their own vocabulary. We make games with the vocabulary, so it's not just where it's paper and pencil and learning by memorization. They actually get to embrace the vocabulary and kind of dive into it. And then I talk to them about modeling. We model to each other, and if we get used to saying those things over and over in sentences and actually think about how we personally have been involved with that vocabulary, it just makes them have so much better ownership.
The strategies I learned at the 7 Steps training this summer was helpful for all of my students, not just my ELLs. They all learned to write and complete sentences, to listen when the others are speaking, and to be able to speak what they've already written down or what they're thinking in complete sentences.
I feel like my students are much more confident. I feel like they're having fun with this vocabulary. Before, I think, even for me growing up, it was like vocabulary was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And now it's like, okay, what are we going to do next with this new unit?
So as you can see, that the professional learning that our teachers experience help all learners. But we're focusing on closing the achievement gap for our English learners. Now, I know in some of our classes it may need 1 or 2 students, but overall in our district, we are talking about 11,933 students who are either currently English learners or in the monitoring process that still need that scaffolded support. So therefore, it's not just that 1 or 2 students. We are asking you to look at as a full district to bring promise to purpose for almost 12,000 students. When it comes down to it, it's basically 1 out of every 4 students in Klein ISD is an English learner. So we need to provide the support for them and continue this growth. So we're asking to continue this precedent for next year. That being said, we have heard some of the feedback and we are being responsive to the needs of our educators. So we are adjusting our proposal this year to meet 3 exchange hours instead of the 6. And it would only be for core content teachers only, and it would work with aligning it to the curriculum refresh as opposed to doing something separate. So again, thank you so much for your time, and we hope that you can make promise to purpose a reality by closing or helping us close the achievement gap for our English learners. Thank you.